Well, time to put a wrap on the 2020 NFL Draft. You know what that means. Report cards. Time for some knee-jerk reactions. Just a couple days after the 3-day event's over, so let's get to analyzing it. And let's start with the league itself. 55 million viewers gave everybody that's shacked up at home something to do during this pandemic. It was great to have the distraction. Roger Goodell, obviously, some awkward interviews, butchered a few names, as he always does. Sorry, Tua. Sorry, Caleb Vaughn. But, welcomed us into his home, as did the other coaches, general managers, and 58 of the players. Pretty good production. Interesting access. Loved spending some time in Cliff Kingsbury's house. So I think overall, plus great job by ESPN pulling it all together remotely. Let's give the league an A- for overall satisfaction of this draft. I have to say my favorite draft. Give the Indianapolis Colts an A. To get running back Jonathan Taylor, a guy that averaged 2,000 yards rushing in 3 seasons at Wisconsin, and Michael Pittman Jr., the USC wide receiver, both in the second round. Guys who were borderline first-round picks. That's pretty nice value. They come back and get Washington quarterback Jacob Eason in the 4th. A lot of people liked him. Tremendous upside. Also, the potential for a low floor for him. But to get him in round 4, put him behind Phillip Rivers and then let him learn and see what he can develop into, I think it's a nice, low-risk, high-reward investment by Chris Ballard at that point. And don't forget, they give up the 13th pick for 49ers defensive tackle DeForest Buckner to anchor the defense. That's a really nice use of draft capital. A couple A-. I think both the Cincinnati Bengals and Washington Redskins deserve some credit. They didn't overthink Joe Burrow at number 1 for Cincinnati, Chase Young at number 2 for the Redskins when they reportedly had an offer on the table to trade that. Take those guys, build around them. Both excellent players, uniquely suited to help the specific situations for each franchise. And the Bengals got other nice players. T. Higgins should be a very nice receiver for them. Maybe replaces A.J. Green long term. And the Redskins also, nice job finally bringing resolution to the Trent Williams situation and getting something back for him. This wasn't the new regime's problem, but they fixed it. And the Redskins also another team that did not have a second-round pick this year. But that's because they got Montez Sweat in the first round last year. And I think overall that's an investment they're going to be glad that they made. One other A-. Let's give one to the Dallas Cowboys, who did not overthink the fact that CeeDee Lamb was sitting there at number 17. They did not need a receiver, but I don't think you can pass up arguably the best one in the draft at that point. And all of a sudden, your number 1 offense looks that much better with CeeDee Lamb paired next to Amari Cooper in what should be a dynamic offense. So nice job by the Cowboys. And Bradley Anae, too. Nice pickup on day 3 with an edge rusher that they really needed. The bottom of the barrel, a couple Ds. Let's talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. First off, didn't love the Jalen Reagor pick with their first round selection. I would have taken Justin Jefferson at that point. The Eagles got plenty of speed later. I would have preferred the polished guy. He could play in the slot. And then Jalen Hurts, he's an interesting prospect for sure. But to take him in the second round when you had other holes on your roster, I think it's a questionable decision. And then the Green Bay Packers, taking Jordan Love, usually no problem laying the groundwork for a quarterback successor for Aaron Rodgers, but I still think he's got plenty left in the tank. Lastly, I failed the Houston Texans. And not necessarily because I didn't like the players they took. I just don't like the way that Bill O'Brien used his draft assets. He traded Jadeveon Clowney last year, only got a 3rd rounder. Traded DeAndre Hopkins this year, only gets a 2nd rounder. And then he used so many of his picks on players like Brandon Cooks and Duke Johnson, Gary and Conley, Laramie Tunsil. Tunsil's a good player. They needed a left tackle. But they gave up 2 first-round picks and a 2nd for him. I think the Texans are really going to be sorry in the not-too-distant future for when they have to pay the piper for all this draft capital that they mismanaged.
Hey sports fans, if you want to see more videos like this, check out some of our other ones right here. And if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button and stick around for more from USA Today Sports.